Hey everyone! So there's been quite a lot of stuff going on related to Star Citizen recently, and I wanted to go over some of that in this video. So on the 10th it was Star Citizen's birthday, and there were a few things that happened with that. So they gave out a few in-game items for free, such as this flight suit and this helmet. And we got a few check-ins from Chris Roberts, where he wrote a big article about the progress of Squadron 42 in Star Citizen, and also some Squadron 42 videos where they go over a few of the things they've been working on. So those are kind of interesting, but I normally don't cover that sort of stuff. So today I'm going to be looking at something that I wasn't really expecting, which is a Halloween event in Star Citizen. So 3.11 just came out, and just with the changes in the patch notes, it didn't really add that much gameplay. But with this new Halloween event, the verse is quite a bit different than it was in 3.10. So there's a few things going on for this Halloween event. So first of all, there are a few helmets available for purchase on the RSI website, and they're these creepy looking bear things. Also there's a cutlass skin, which looks kind of cool. But in addition to these things that you can purchase, there's actually a couple in-game events which I think are really nice, although they are a bit disruptive, which I'm going to go over later. So the first one isn't very disruptive, and it's just, there's this Easter egg around the asteroid field of Yela called Benny Henge, and it's on this one specific asteroid. You can go there, and there's this Stonehenge looking thing made out of vending machines. So this is me here, but I'm not going to show you how to get there in this video because I actually used someone else's tutorial, and I have that linked in the description. It's very well done, and there's no way I would have been able to find it without it, so go and give that a look if you want to check it out. So all you have to do, I believe, is just go and visit Benny Henge, and you'll get this Hill Horror helmet, and you won't get it immediately, but it says your account will be credited within about 72 hours of visiting the place. And these are pretty cool for in-game items, and they'll actually show up in your hangar as like a pledge item from what I've seen on Spectrum. Alright, so now for the big change that you've probably noticed if you've spent much time in the verse. It's the challenge to get the other helmet, which is called the Snarling Vanduul helmet, and it makes you look like the alien Vanduul species. So for the event, you have to either pilot the Vanduul Glaive or the Aegis Gladius, and you actually have access to both of these ships. And to earn the helmet, you have to kill 50 unique players. So this is quite a difficult challenge, and it's been kind of controversial. So personally, I've been enjoying it, and it's been a lot of fun to just be around GrimHEX and do a lot of dogfighting. I normally do NPC combat missions, but fighting against players is a very different experience, and I've had a lot of fun doing it, since I usually don't. And especially at GrimHEX, most of the people there are expecting to be dogfighting anyway, so it's just a whole lot of fun, a bunch of people fighting each other. And GrimHEX is a great place to do it because you don't end up with a crime stat for killing anyone. However, there definitely are a few issues. So first of all, they have to be unique player kills. I can kind of see why they do this, so that you and a friend don't just go kill each other 50 times and get the challenge done easily, but it's kind of lame that if you and someone else are legitimately dogfighting for a while and you go back and forth, it only counts for one of the kills. And 50 unique players is a lot, even though you have the whole month. One positive thing I'll say though is this combat experience has really made me appreciate the missile changes. I've never really been a big fan of missiles, and I do think this patch goes a little bit too far on nerfing them because I haven't really seen them being used much at all because of the increased minimum lock-on range, which really wasn't even a thing before, and the very strong countermeasures now. So I think they'll probably make them a bit stronger in the future as they get the balance just right, but for right now it's pretty much all ship weapon based, and the missiles have very little impact on any of the fights. So while I've been having fun with this because that's what I've been going into the game to do, I can definitely see why people would have issues with the way that this event is set up. And I also have a few ideas for things that they might do in the future, because I do want them to do stuff like this in the future. Since like I had talked about earlier with the last in-game event of the Free Fly, it adds a lot of content for players and keeps things new and fresh without being too much wasted development time for the developers. So yeah, the issue with this event is that killing any player counts for this challenge. So that means that while you can do it by just dogfighting other willing players and racking up 50 kills that way, it's going to be a lot easier to just go around and kill unsuspecting players, especially people who are just trying to trade or mine. So while I haven't played a ton and I haven't tried to do these sort of things, I could definitely see it being very disruptive to people who aren't really interested in doing PvP. Hopefully it doesn't get too out of hand, because the loss system still will apply if you kill a player while in a comlink monitored area, and this patch it's harder than ever to be a criminal because you really can't land at any of the stations with all the new defenses they've had. So if you do have a crime stat, you pretty much have to go to GrimHEX or Levski. So hopefully that's a good enough deterrent to deter people from endlessly harassing miners and traders, but I can definitely see where people would be frustrated with how they set up this event. I hope they do change it though, because I feel like Just a few simple changes could really make this just a fun thing for people who want to participate and not bothersome for the people who don't want to. So I think what they should have done is had it so that only kills against people in a glaive or a gladius count, because those are the two ships where your kills count towards your challenge. So that way, if you're only killing other people in those ships, you know those people are most likely wanting to be partaking in the challenge. And that would make it so that there's no point to even harass anyone else. Also, I think 50 is a lot. I spent a good amount of time doing this over the past couple of days, and I've probably only gotten 8 to 10 unique kills. And I've been pretty lucky in finding other players who are pretty honorable in the way they fight, and they didn't just run away as soon as they started taking damage. So yeah, while I'm personally enjoying it, I can definitely see where people might be frustrated with this event, and there's definitely some things they could fix to make it a little bit more of a positive experience for everyone, I think. So then for the last part of this video, I just want to go over some tips I have if you want to do this challenge yourself, and I really think you should give it a try, because the helmet that you get as a reward looks really cool. And like the other one, it'll be added to your hanger as like a pledge item, so you should be able to keep it permanently, from what I understand. So for the kills to count, you either have to get them in the Vanduul glaive or in the Aegis Gladius. And they've actually fixed it now to where kills in either of those both add to your total, because before it seemed like they had set it up so that it was separate per ship. Now there is no counter that you can see, which is kind of annoying. You just have to kind of estimate where you're at, and eventually the helmet will show up for you once you pass the requirement. But just know that if you get kills in a glaive or in a gladius, they are all accounting towards your total now, at least based on the most up-to-date FAQ on Spectrum. Now for which of the two that I prefer, I definitely prefer the gladius, because it's just a more solid fighter. The glaive is still usable for sure, and I actually got a kill with it when I tried it out, but it's just kind of inconvenient to use for a couple of reasons. So first of all, you can see here, it's pretty easy to lose wings on it, and with those wings you lose the weapons. So when you lose your wings like this, you do keep your two smaller cannons, but they don't really do much damage compared to the massive ones on the wings. Also, you just have a lot less flexibility because you can't swap out the weapons on this ship, and I generally prefer a much higher rate of fire on my weapons. And then the other issue, which unfortunately I wasn't able to record because it didn't happen while I was recording, is the canopy bug, where your canopy sometimes opens randomly on your ship. In this ship it's a much bigger deal because when you get the bug, it lowers you out of the cockpit, so your view is all messed up. Because in this ship, it's not the canopy that opens, it's the platform that you lie on that opens, so it swings you down and out of the ship. So yeah, if you're looking for a change of pace, then go ahead and give the glaive a try, because it is usable and it is pretty fun to fly, but as to which one is the better overall fighter, I think the gladius takes it pretty easily. And then in terms of how you want to set up your gladius, there are a few things you probably want to change. So the stock loadout comes with one Mantis GT220 ballistic repeater and 2 laser repeaters. Now this is okay for AI, and I generally like to run 3 laser repeaters against AI just so I don't run out of ammo. But when you're going against other players, you really want to make sure that any hits you're getting count. I like to run 3 Mantis GT220s, that way even if their shields are up, I'm still getting some ballistic penetration and getting some damage that way. But I've also been in fights against people who have either 1 or 2 distortion repeaters to strip the shields off your ship, along with 1 ballistic repeater, and that seems to work pretty well too. So I'd go for one of those setups. And then in terms of anything else you might want to upgrade, the FR series shields are generally some of the best because they have a pretty high health pool and a pretty high regen rate, so I went with 2 of those, and then I went with a JS300 power unit to power these upgraded shields. So yeah, overall, this is a pretty fun event for those people who do want to partake in it, and if you do, then be sure to head over to GrimHEX, because when I've been over there, there's quite a few people all fighting each other, and it's a whole lot of fun. For everyone else, I do feel your pain, and hopefully you'll be able to get back to mining and trading as usual, and hopefully CIG makes some adjustments so that this event, or at least events in the future, aren't quite as disruptive to some of the other players, and they make a bit more sense. But I do like this direction of having more frequent in-game events, because it's a lot easier to wait for updates, and wait for updates with less content when there's other stuff to do in the game, like this. So anyway, good luck if you're trying to earn this helmet, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.